What is up, ladies and gents? Assassinator here, bringing you a brand new spin-off series of replay review here with the host BBK Dragoon. Say hi, BBK Dragoon.
Oh, hello there.
This is going to be a new replay review series that I'm going to be joining in with BBK alongside his regular replay reviews. And today we're just going to be doing a regular replay review, but since I have a look at more technical stuff, I guess I would call it.
Dan's a lot better than me. He's got a really good eye for like the higher end stuff. So we've been wanting to do this for a long time, and it's happening.
We finally got it. Anyway, we're here with, who are we watching? You do the shout out.
This is Deadstorm X17. We're playing Regicide here on Simplex. And we've already watched this like 2 times, so we're pros at this. But first thing we really wanted to mention was, or at least I wanted to mention, were grenades, and that'll come up a lot. But he sort of seems to toss his 2 nades away, like right away, off of like every respawn throughout this game. And if it's not right away, it's pretty delayed, or like throwing 2 nades to the same spot. I feel like
he'll dual nade, which is when you throw 2 grenades at the exact same spot, expecting one of them to do what the other one didn't.
And the timing between the 2 explosions is like, so the odds of it hitting somebody is pretty minimal.
Yeah, it's a jump where it's either going to be an instant kill because you just got 2 nades on the guy, or nothing at all is going to happen in your life with 2 grenades. Yeah. Which I wouldn't use in a free-for-all. I mean, I specialize, or as BBK probably knows, and a lot of my friends probably know, I specialize in free-for-alls and one-on-ones.
Yes. You pride yourself on that, sir.
I pride myself on one-on-ones. But yeah, you always save your grenades I always use them to set up plays, or set up kills, so I use them as a pre-nade. More the pre-nade or post-nades.
If you would have gotten the 360 melee back smack right there, I'm dropping the controller on the floor. Did you see that little move?
Yeah.
He was trying. So, the obvious thing, dude, like, what do people think of Carbine? Like, what is the Carbine? Your thoughts?
My thoughts on the Carbine? Well, it's a good weapon. Like, in essence, I know what he's thinking when he's using the Carbine. It's really, really good for cleaning out kills because there's just that high rate of fire and the fact that you can just get so much lead downstream. But having said that, I guess you can clean up kills, but you can't really get kills because it requires a lot of accuracy and a lot of headshots. I think it's 7 headshots off the top of my head for the quickest kill.
Yeah, it's hard to use, man.
Yeah, so I always stick to, I don't know, old school BR, that 3-shot. When you're no shields, it only takes one of the 3 shots as a headshot to kill you anyway. Yeah. So I always stick to the BR.
Double nades.
And then over here, always going in for the melee.
Yep.
Which is not very good, especially in a free-for-all, because you want to stay as strong as possible all the time. Going in for the melee, or even going for like the thruster pack jukas, which we just saw there. Like it's a good idea, but it's not really going to get you anywhere past 1 kill. Because you'll always either trade, and then you've got no shields, or you've just like flooshed it and you're there with meleeing the air and you're like, great, what do I do now for the next half a second?
I see it a lot in replay reviews, and I fall into that trap because they're like, oh, his shields are half down. It's almost like a Halo 3 thing where you're like, let's start the melee battle. But it's just not the same since Reach. You don't want to be like ever charging directly at somebody when they're just sort of soft and you're like, oh, I can get this guy. Yeah. Like there.
So, that also brings us on to another point that I also found. You're roaming too much. Especially in Simplex. Simplex is a small map.
It's all about like that position, right? Instead of chasing things.
There's a lot of places where you can get a lot of sightlines on, and what you want to be doing, especially in a Regicide, is cleaning up kills or participating in fights without you actually participating in the fight. So right here where you are now, purple. Stay where you are with the plasma grenades, or go maybe top mid.
And he's got yellow. Rail too. It forces people to come to him.
And you can use the railgun as, long range ordnance with that small splash damage, and it'll get you a lot of conditions where you are right now.
2 nades,
where you just, you finally get what you're looking for, and then it's just like, oh great, I'm dead because
poor guy. That guy lagging out through the wall. Okay, can I just bring up the elephant in the room? Why are you using Nemesis, dude? Nemesis takes up the slot for ammo, dexterity, or stability, all 3 which are far superior. You know where you died on the map. You should know where the action is happening on the map. I just see that perk as such a wasted spot. Cool railgun kill, though.
Your railgun is fine, you're just not really utilizing it well. So, get yourself in a position that not exactly you're the king. Everyone's going to be coming to you. That's just hands down. That's what Regicide is.
Yeah.
So,
And if you
Well,
sit top purple, you only have 2 directions people are pushing from outside. And then you could have probably grabbed OS, you know?
and then
That
you
little
can
thing.
escape. And then OS. Yeah, why isn't no one?
Is
touching
this the play where he gets the overshield though? Because this just gets
Yeah, this is where he
insane
gets
here in a
king,
second.
He gets king tacked.
We talked about this. We're not gonna harp on like.
So, there's the melee, and then you get king tack. So you go for the dual melee with king tag, and you get plasma grenaded. And
See, that's just not gonna happen. That I chalk. That's gotta be like the most lucky, unaware kind of opponent ever.
Yeah, and then he uses one whole clip on one guy using the carbine, and then he's left weak because he's trying to do this melee battle.
Yeah, and
And
sprint
yes,
juking, dude.
He'll get the kill. And he's on a killing spree, which is all well and good. And then he's not setting up. He's trying to back away. And it's like, oh my god, there's 2 people. Okay, let's clean up.
Wouldn't you rather fight
Well,
like top
trade.
red when you're the king and at least try
Put
like to
yourself
escape?
put yourself in the position of power where you can escape, like contest, escape, or join.
Now the
So
position
top
on
mid is
Simplex, isn't that like flexible though? Because like purple and gold, those 2 places, mainly purple for me is where I would think, but it's sort of
Yep.
flexible on where the opponents are. Is that right?
Yeah, and there's a lot of escape routes because in purple you can just drop down and then you got railgun spawn, which you want to set up for. You don't want to. I guess I'd say rush.
Hmm.
You don't want to rush overshield. You don't really want to rush railgun. The trick I usually emphasize with the overshield, when your overshield is charging, you're invincible. So for about 1.5 seconds, you are invincible to any and all types of damage, except for an assassination. So set up for overshield and then bait it. And then, that's an extra kill, and then you have an overshield, then you can get king tacked off, and that's another overshield, and it snowballs from that.
You know, he's really not a bad player. Actually, a lot of the things that he's doing, like movement-wise, I can see it working out. But the roaming, like, that just seems like it's going to get you killed all the time.
Yeah. It's like you're joining fights, and especially coming in with the melee as well. Like, yes, you want to join fights, but joining fights with the melee is not exactly what you want to do. You kind of want to hang back and then just clean up.
So if we were to do 3 bullet points, grenades were the first one we talked about. He seems to throw 2 nades at the start of almost every fight, or like the start of every respawn. No bueno, because A, you're not going to hit somebody like in the same spot just half a second apart, and make your nades count. They're super useful, especially in Regicide. Like when you are the king, isn't it nice to have nades to slow people down? Because they're obviously going to be chasing you.
Pre-nades, post-nades, use them as escape, use them as a draw in. Like, if the guys, when you're the king, people are going to be coming up from you.
You rarely use them to like start a fight, right? It's more for finishing it.
You're the king, people are coming towards you, put a nade around the corner when they're coming. It's like, bam, instant no shield, clean up.
Now,
with the carbine, it's really easy to clean up because you just got all that power.
See, I was going to ask there again, setup, what would you change outside of like the carbine?
Nemesis.
Yeah.
I would get rid of that. I would trade it for something else.
No, don't use Nemesis, man. And then you mentioned also Simplex is a small map. Do you want to talk real fast about roaming?
Yeah, Simplex. Like, if you want to lock down a position, mainly red or blue. Like, red or blue is not really where you want to go because that's usually heavy spawn points. But yellow and purple and top mid. Purple is probably the most important because you can set up for overshield and you can set up for railgun really easily. And then you can harp on about Nemesis.
Oh, I'm done. I'm not going to hark on Nemesis anymore. But, and meleeing. That was like the last thing I sort of saw.
That's pretty much it.
Any closing thoughts, man?
Just play the map's strengths. So Simplex is really small, so you don't really have to roam that much. You can just get into a position that has sight lines and pretty much anywhere on the map. So just stick around there.
Yeah, right on. Well, thanks, man, for joining me. We'll do more of these, all that jazz. And you guys are good there.
All right, I'll catch you guys later.